Good evening, everyone. I wanted to go over and give you some instructions on how to do those module journal prompts that was talked about in class today. So in your content, you'll notice for each lesson, at the end of the lesson, you have this prompt. So let me go and view as a student. We're going to look at lesson 1. What is chemistry? I'm going to load this page. And I'm just going to go right to the end. I'm going to go right to what is chemistry, that journal prompt. So what you're doing with this journal prompt is it says, please explain 3 ways in which you have used any branch of chemistry in your everyday life. And then explain how the 5 branches of chemistry can and very often do overlap. So as you went through this lesson, it talked about some different branches of chemistry. And in class, we talked about at least one example of how we use chemistry, such as in cooking. So that would be an everyday life use. So what you will do is you will open up either a Word document or even a Google Doc. You'll copy and paste this little prompt. And let me just open up a Google Doc here and show you what you could do with a Google Doc. So what I would do is I would title this document. I'm going to do it Unit 1 Journal. So it's all there. And I'll put it over here and do Lesson 1.01. So that's my lesson. That's the lesson we're here. Go back over here. We're going to copy that and paste it. And then I would start writing my response, such as I use chemistry every day when I cook. Okay, and then you could start explaining the 5 branches of chemistry. So we had forensic chemistry, we had environmental, and then you would continue that and say how these are all related. So at the very end of the unit, so each lesson throughout this unit, you would just go back down, you'd say lesson 1.02. So then we would go over here once you're at lesson 1.02. Let me bring that lesson up. You would go to lesson 1.02. And again, I'm just going to skip to the end because I want to just show you the journal prompt. So this is one that we actually did in class today. So at the very end, when I had you do that little prompt, that's what we were doing. So it says you spend 2 years working on a scientific experiment, and when you finally are finished, you discover that your original hypothesis was not correct and must be refuted. Does this make you a bad scientist? And then what happens next? So it says to explain in a paragraph or 2. If you can write a paragraph or 2, that would be great. But I want at least a couple of sentences explaining why or why not you're a bad scientist and what happens next. So hopefully as you went through that lesson, you found out that, you know what, oftentimes your hypothesis is going to be wrong. As long as you own that, you're not a bad scientist. You're a good scientist. You're like, I thought X, Y, and Z was going to happen, but guess what? A, B, and C happened instead. So it doesn't make you a bad scientist. It just tells you that you learned something new. So what would you do next? Well, you would try to do the experiment again and prove a new hypothesis. So let's say you're all done with Unit 1 and you're ready to turn this in. So if it's a Google Doc, you can do this little handy dandy share button and copy this link. And then for the Unit 1 journal, so you won't turn this in until Unit 1 is complete. So once Unit 1 is complete, you will turn in your Unit 1 journal. So you would put it over here. And then you would, well, you can either upload, you can do a recording, or you can choose existing. So I need to do a little bit of editing here, so it gives you a box down here that you can just copy and paste. Or if it's a Word document, then you can just upload that file. Hopefully that helps clear up some of your questions around this journal. I am going to try to include those journal prompts within our Pear Deck activity during each of our lessons. Hopefully that helps. If not, you can always reach out to me. I'm available by email, and I'd be happy to help you.